Hello, souls and demons, and welcome back to the portal. Today's story is another shorter one, but it's called The Kubaton by Leah of Alexandria, so sit back, grip your seats, and enjoy. I hate Halloween. I've been stalked by the Kubaton for decades now, and its power only grows every year. The spooky month has always been the worst. At no other time does it have more carte blanche than in the 10th month of the year. Let's start from the beginning. I love scary stuff now as a 30-something, but as a child I didn't. Who did? When I was about 10 years old, I think I documented the being's energy for the first time. I lived in a remote area of the Midwest with my parents and two younger brothers. We had a spiral staircase, which freaked a lot of my friends out for whatever reason. When you succeeded in getting up the stairs, past the window on the staircase, you had to dash through a dark hallway, with a large closet facing your right side to my room. The thing is, the light switch was on the other side, so when you got up the stairs you could not turn the light on until you passed the closet. An odd design that I'll never get. I suppose whoever did the original wiring just looked completely over it. As I made the nightly sprint to my room, finally turning the light on for comfort, I found my way into my top bunk. An older brother's flag of dominance. As I faded to black, I heard a child's laughter, followed by that same child calling my name. Hee, Blake? It called out. I was frozen in fear. Eventually, I peeked under my top bunk to see if my 5-year-old brother was awake, attempting to communicate with me. He was dead asleep. This could be explained by 1,000 different things, but it shook me so much that I've never forgotten it. Even stranger, if you listen to the end of Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne, you will hear what I heard at the end of the song. This was too much to comprehend the first time I heard it, which was maybe 3 years later. I didn't realize at the time the Kubaton was a mimic, among many other evils. The first Halloween I was made aware of things, I was maybe 13 years old. I was at home, near the tree line in our backyard. We lived in the country, like the real country, where our next door neighbors were about 10 miles away. As I moved closer to the trees, I just got that feeling. The feeling of being watched. Some people might not know what that is or even believe it when they hear that cliche line, but I know it's real. It feels like someone dropped 100 spiders on you, a full body tingling. I tried to ignore it, but the feelings were so strong. And then I saw it. 2 little glowing eyes, perfectly round in shape. It was low to the ground and I couldn't make out the rest of the being. I slowly backed up. At least I had a little sense as a young teen. I could feel that this thing didn't want to chase me. It was smug. It just liked letting me know that it was finally out to play. I turned my head to see how far my house was, and when I turned back, of course it was gone. Gone for now. But not gone for the rest of that Halloween. My mom vanned my brothers and I into the small town to trick-or-treat. We were the kids that had to wear winter jackets over our costumes as it was always around 40 degrees Fahrenheit or so in late October. I hated it. You never saw Superman wear a starter jacket, did you? The night was like any other trick-or-treat event. House to house, bag of candy getting more full. As I turned down one of the streets, I froze. I have never seen this area before in my life. Sweat immediately started to bead under my costume and winter jacket. I didn't see anyone. It was like I was dropped into Elm Street. I started to understand what was happening. The Kubaton was near. It was gaining more power. A house that appeared at the end of the street lit up. It felt like it was mean. I immediately ran. I don't even remember what direction. I just ran as hard as I could. I ran so hard I think my eyes were closed out of fear and adrenaline coursing through me. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground, with my brothers and a few other friends crowded around me. "You okay?" one of my buddies asked. That was a pretty good fall. "Why the heck were you running like that anyway? It's not that late, we will get plenty of candy." I must have thrown some lame excuse out. I can't really remember it right now. I couldn't tell my fellow 13-year-olds and my younger brother that I was just in a dream world with a demonic house staring me down. The rest of that Halloween, thankfully, was uneventful. As far as the times between Halloweens, not much happens. I can lead a somewhat normal life. I've had plenty of run-of-the-mill scares. I can never fully attribute those to the Kubaton. I know when it's that son of a bitch that's messing with me. One night in my mid-20s, my girlfriend and I were leaving our apartment. As I entered the hallway towards the front door, I noticed our spare bedroom door was open, with the light on. I asked if she left that open for some reason. The door was never left open, let alone the light being on. She seemed just as confused as me. It was around Christmas time, so I figured that she was hiding presents there and just forgot to shut the door. Kinda cute, so I let it go. I hit the light and shut the door. When we tipsily returned a few hours later, I threw my keys on the desk by our front door and went right for the bathroom to empty out with the rest of the contents of my night. Pee, mind you, not puke. As I turned the corner, I saw that extra bedroom door was open, and the light was on. I knew we weren't home, and we don't have anyone else with a key that could access the apartment. Someone could have broken in, sure, but absolutely nothing was disturbed or taken, and the front door was locked. Burglars usually don't take the time to lock up after they rob someone's house. It was that damn Kubaton getting to me, telling me that it's about to amp things up. The spirit, demon, whatever you want to call it, does not confine itself to land. Not too long ago, a friend took me on his little bass fishing boat. We weren't fishing, just taking the vessel out for a quick run. There's a decent-sized buoy about 5 miles from shore that signals where freighters can travel. As the lake we were on is quite shallow, but there's a trench dug for these massive ships to safely travel through. The closer we got, the more uneasy I became. I didn't understand why the buoy looked so strange, but then I saw it. There were about a dozen birds around. I've never seen them before. I tried to look them up, but I had no success. All at once they looked at me with fire in their eyes. I begged my friend to book it for land. "Get the hell out of here," I said, with what I hoped was as much urgency as I could muster. Of course he was confused, but seeing how wrecked I was, he did as I asked. The devil birds followed, some diving into the water, some screeching. This was the most scared I have ever been. I was holding on for dear life. One of the beings slammed into the boat. "Come on, push it!" I continued to yell at my friend. Still confused, he kept the throttle down. Most of the birds had given up, but one continued. He got close enough to land on the boat. I could hear his long, sharp talons grip the edge of the boat. I felt like this might be it. I'm about to die in a fucking boat, with my eyes pecked out by an overgrown chicken of all things. As I slowly turned around, the wind whipping hard enough to make my eyes water, I saw nothing. No birds. No birds, no demons. As I realized I was safe, I almost realized we were back in this canal, cruising at a comfortable pace. "Hey man, what the hell was that about?" "You're joking, right? You saw those things. If they caught up to us, we would have had some issues." He looked at me with a blank stare. "Dude, I have no idea what you're talking about." I let it die right there. The Kubaton apparently shielded itself from him just to make me seem even crazier. I admit, it's working. All I can think about now is going home and locking all my doors and windows. I can't be out, especially so close to Halloween. You might be wondering why I call this entity the Kubaton. It's simple, kind of stupid really, but simple. It just came to me when I felt its presence for the first time. If you Google what it really is, it's a self-defense weapon. A general term for a hard, rigid self-defense stick, as it were. The only comparison is that the spirit, like the tool, is small, unassuming, but can pack some pain. As I enter my home for what I hope isn't the last time, I throw my keys on the table near the door. I turn on all the lights and then I see it. My bedroom door is open. I never leave it open.